The story flashes back to Pennsylvania, a few years earlier. We meet Sam Childers, a rough biker, as he is released from prison. He is greeted by his wife, Lynn, and their young daughter, Paige. Back home, the family tries to settle into a normal dinner. But tension rises when Sam learns Lynn has quit her job as a stripper. She explains she found a new job and has been clean for 2 weeks. Sam is furious, calling her foolish for giving up the money she made dancing. Lynn stands firm, telling him her old life was wrong in the eyes of God. She tells him God helped her change while he was away. Upset, Sam storms out and goes to a bar to find his old friend, Donnie. The two friends reunite after Sam's time in prison. Donnie mentions he heard Lynn isn't dancing at the bunny hop anymore. Sam confirms she told him she found Jesus. Falling back into old habits, Sam agrees to get high with Donnie. They shoot up heroin in the car. High and driving recklessly, they spot a lone hitchhiker on the road. They decide to pick him up, with Sam thinking it's a good deed. Suddenly, Donnie pulls a knife on the terrified hitchhiker. Sam yells at him to stop, but Donnie begins to stab the man. Horrified by the senseless violence, Sam pulls Donnie off the victim. The brutal incident serves as a shocking wake-up call for Sam. Lynn tries to convince a reluctant Sam to come to church with her. In the church, the congregation sings praises to the Lord. The pastor calls for any sinners seeking God to raise their hands. He speaks directly to Sam, sensing his doubt and telling him he can be forgiven. Moved by the sermon, Sam stands up and walks towards the front. He decides to be baptized, seeking a fresh start. Sam is submerged in the water, symbolically washing away his past sins. He emerges reborn, welcomed into his new faith. Trying to live a straight life, Sam struggles to find legitimate work. A powerful tornado rips through the region, causing massive destruction. As the storm hits their home, Sam rushes Paige to safety. The family huddles together in a small closet as the house is torn apart. In the aftermath, Sam sees an opportunity and starts his own construction company. He partners with a local businessman, agreeing to split the profits. His business, Childers Construction, quickly becomes successful. He surprises Lynn and Paige by showing them their brand new house. For a time, the family enjoys their new, stable, and happy life. At church, a special guest, Pastor Ring, speaks about his mission in Uganda, Africa. He describes the suffering of Christian families caught in a brutal civil war. Pastor Ring's story deeply affects Sam, who feels a calling to help. He decides to go to Africa for a few weeks to offer his construction skills. Sam arrives in northern Uganda, a world away from his home. He meets soldiers from the SPLA, the Sudan People's Liberation Army. One of the soldiers introduces himself as Deng. Sam asks Deng to be his guide for a trip into war-torn Sudan. Deng warns him that traveling on the roads is the most dangerous thing in Sudan. They arrive at a food distribution center, where Sam sees the desperation of the refugees. Deng explains that the LRA rebels attack the villages at night. In a makeshift clinic, Sam helps a relief worker with an injured woman. The worker explains the rebels cut off the woman's lips, an order from their leader, Kony. She warns Sam that this is a war zone, and he will be killed if he stays. That night, Deng shows Sam the night commuters' children walking miles to safety. Their parents send them away from the villages to avoid being abducted by the LRA. Moved by their plight, Sam invites a group of children to sleep safely in his room. The next day, Deng takes Sam to a village that was attacked by the LRA the night before. Sam is confronted with the horrific aftermath of the massacre. The sight of the dead, including children, leaves him utterly shaken. Sam returns home to Pennsylvania, a profoundly changed man. He tells Lynn he had a vision from God while he was away. He plans to build a new kind of church, one that welcomes everyone. A place for sinners like him, who want to hear God's word. He then reveals his other plan, to build an orphanage in Sudan. Sam's new church, the Machine Gun Preacher Fellowship, opens its doors. With the guest speaker a no-show, Sam delivers the first sermon himself. He tells the congregation that God doesn't just call the righteous, he also calls sinners. After saying goodbye to his family, Sam returns to Africa. He chooses a location for the orphanage in a dangerous, remote area. Despite warnings from officials, he insists it's where the help is needed most. With help from SPLA soldiers and local villagers, construction begins. One night, a young boy named Donnie asks Sam to kiss his forehead like his father used to. Suddenly, the construction site is attacked by the LRA. Sam grabs a weapon and fights back alongside the SPLA soldiers. They rush the children to the unfinished church for safety. The rebels set fire to the buildings, destroying everything Sam has built. In despair, Sam calls Lynn, telling her that everything is gone and he can't go on. Lynn refuses to let him give up, reminding him of the resilience of the children he's helping. She tells him to stop crying and build it all over again. Inspired by her words, Sam rallies his men to rebuild the orphanage. He orders them to clear the surrounding brush so the enemy has nowhere to hide. Sam's mission evolves. He no longer just builds, he actively hunts the LRA. He leads armed raids, searching for LRA convoys and abducted children. During one raid, they stop an LRA truck, but there are children inside. After a firefight, they successfully rescue the terrified children. A young boy named William, whose family was killed, begins to follow Sam as a bodyguard. Back home, the financial strain of his mission is immense. He asks a wealthy contact for $500,000 to keep the orphanage running. At a party, the man gives him a check for only $1,500, enraging Sam. In church, Sam preaches with growing anger, telling the congregation they are in a fight with the devil. With the money he raised, Sam builds a new playground for the children in Sudan. Deng informs Sam that the LRA leader, Coney, has put a bounty on his head. A new boy arrives at the orphanage, so traumatized he cannot speak. Sam confides in the silent boy, admitting his fear of becoming numb to the horror. He gets a visit from John Garong, the revered leader of the SPLA. Garong sees Sam as a fellow warrior, fighting for the children as he fights for Sudan's freedom. While rescuing two children, Sam's team is pinned down by a sniper. Sam flanks the enemy and takes out the sniper to save his men. He gets a call from his old friend Donnie, who sounds lost and desperate. Donnie reminisces about their childhood, clearly struggling with his addiction. A relief worker criticizes Sam, calling him a mercenary, not a humanitarian. On a mission, they find a large group of abducted children, far more than they can transport. Sam is forced to make an impossible choice, taking only the youngest and sickest. He promises the terrified remaining children that he will come back for them. When he returns hours later, he finds they have all been massacred by the LRA. The horrific discovery pushes Sam over the edge. Back home, his trauma explodes into rage during an argument with Paige. He cruelly insults his friend, calling him a stray dog and throwing him out of the house. He learns from Lynn that Donnie has died from a heroin overdose. At Donnie's funeral, Sam is unable to offer comfort, only expressing his confusion and anger. Having lost his business, Sam watches as the bank repossesses his equipment. He tells Lynn he sold the business for a new truck for the orphanage, devastating her. Lynn confronts him, saying he fights for everyone except his own family. Feeling completely abandoned, Sam screams at the sky, challenging God. He tells Lynn he has to do this alone and leaves for Africa one last time. In Sudan, Deng tells Sam the men no longer trust him, saying he has a death wish. The silent boy finally speaks, telling Sam the rebels forced him to kill his own mother. The boy's confession breaks through Sam's rage. He realizes if they are filled with hate, the enemy wins. Sam calls home and speaks to Paige. They reconnect by playing their old rhyming game over the phone. He tells her he loves her, finding a moment of peace and reconciliation. With his purpose renewed, Sam shows a picture of his daughter to the children at the orphanage. His mission is interrupted by news that an LRA unit has been located. The fight is not over. Sam prepares his men to go after them and rescue more children. His resolve is restored, but now tempered with a deeper understanding of his fight. An epilogue states that Joseph Kony and the LRA continue their reign of terror. And to this day, Sam Childers continues to defend the children of South Sudan and northern Uganda. If you want a recap of your favorite movies and shows, comment below, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next ones. See you next time, everyone.